Rikers Island, a fortress of steel and concrete, floating in the East River, just a stone's throw from the heart of New York City. It's 2025, yet the problems here feel timeless. Violence, overcrowding, corruption, decades of promises to shut it down have failed. And somehow, the jail remains. Standing, defiant, almost alive. You can hear it before you see it. The echo of footsteps on concrete, the metallic clang of gates, the low murmur of voices that never sleep. For some, Rikers is punishment. For others, it's survival. And for a few, it's power. In this series, we are going inside the walls of one of the most notorious jails in America. The stories here aren't sanitized. They are raw. They are real. And they reveal a truth no one outside the gates wants to face. Rikers Island wasn't always this infamous. Once, it was just a collection of small penitentiaries, designed to hold a fraction of the inmates it houses today. But as New York grew, so did the jail, and so did the violence within it. Today, thousands of people live behind its walls, in conditions that many human rights advocates call inhumane. Every corner of Rikers has a story. Every cell block has a secret. And every hallway carries the weight of decades of mismanagement and neglect. Here, a single mistake can become a tragedy. And for those who call this place home, if only temporarily, the line between life and death is razor thin. The city has spent billions trying to reform it, trying to close it down. Yet somehow, it persists. And in 2025, it's more complex and dangerous than ever. Walking into Rikers is like stepping into another world. The air is heavy with tension, thick with the scent of cleaning chemicals and despair. The halls are narrow, the gates never stop clanging. Every sound is amplified, the shuffle of shoes, the cough of an inmate, the distant roar of an argument in another cell block. Here, survival is a full-time job. Alliances form and dissolve in minutes. Respect isn't given, it's earned through fear, cunning, or sheer resilience. The guards patrol constantly, but even they know that some corners of Rikers are beyond their control. And then there's the rhythm of the jail, the schedule that never changes. Meals, counts, lockdowns. But no matter how rigid the system seems, chaos lurks just below the surface. One spark, one confrontation, and the entire block can ignite. Every story in Rikers begins here, at intake. A metal door swings open, and a new inmate steps into a world that will test every part of them. Faces are scanned. Belongings are catalogued. Identities are stripped down to numbers. The echo of the intake hall is relentless. Chains clink. Guards' boots hit the floor in synchronized precision. Behind the walls, inmates watch the newcomers like hawks, assessing strength, weakness, and opportunity. For some, intake is the first shock. The fluorescent lights are harsh. The smell is overwhelming. The whispers of experienced inmates float through the air, warning the naive of what's to come. Here, every movement is watched. Every word is judged. One wrong look, one misstep, and you might become someone's target before you even make it to your cell. The heart of Rikers beats in the cell blocks. Narrow corridors stretch endlessly, lined with metal doors and small, barred windows. The walls are scarred with the marks of time, tension, and defiance. Inside, life moves in a brutal rhythm. Lights flick on at 5 a.m. Breakfast trays clang on steel tables. Count after count, hour after hour, the schedule never breaks. But routine here is a double-edged sword. It offers structure, but also a constant reminder that freedom is a distant memory. Inmates pace their cells or play cards. Fights can erupt over nothing. A stolen item, a whispered insult, a glance taken too long. In this world, control is a currency that everyone covets, but few truly possess. Guards patrol with wary eyes, knowing the tension is always one spark away from exploding. Power in Rikers isn't given. It's claimed. It's earned in the heat of a fight, in whispered alliances, in the quiet observation of weakness. The jail has its own laws, its own hierarchy, and anyone who ignores them learns the hard way. Gang lines run invisible yet firm, marking territories, dictating who can walk where, who speaks when. Respect is demanded. Fear is currency. Trust is rare. And betrayal is inevitable. Even a single cell can be a battleground. Arguments flare over food, smuggled items, or a look that lasts too long. And in the chaos, guards must intervene, but they know they're always a step behind. The system is designed to contain, but it cannot contain the raw, unfiltered need to survive. Beyond the fights and chaos lies another battle, the battle with the self. Solitary confinement is a weapon, a punishment, and a crucible. For days, weeks, sometimes months, inmates are locked away in silence. The lights never dim, the walls close in, and the only sound is your own mind. Mental health here is fragile. The stress of the environment, constant surveillance, threats from peers, the pressure to perform, takes a toll. Some retreat inward, some explode outward, and some simply fade. Doctors and counselors are overworked, understaffed, and under-resourced. The human cost mounts. And still, Rikers functions, a place of punishment and endurance that refuses to break. A jail built to punish, yet it has become a world of its own, where alliances shift, secrets hide in plain sight, and survival is the ultimate prize. The corridor is narrow, the walls pocked with years of chipped paint. Inmates move in measured patterns, their eyes constantly scanning, calculating. Some linger in the shadows, whispering in low tones. Deals are struck quietly, extra commissary, contraband cigarettes, protection in exchange for favors. In this world, trust is the rarest commodity. A smile can hide a knife. A handshake can seal a betrayal. Even seasoned inmates tread carefully, knowing that misreading a gesture could mean losing more than respect. It could mean losing a life. In the corner of cell block 4, a small group huddles, their conversation low and rapid. Names are exchanged, a plan is laid. Everyone listens carefully. Outside, the clang of a metal door marks the shift change, but inside the group, tension hangs thick, unbroken. The yard is a patch of concrete under the open sky, surrounded by towering fences topped with razor wire. Sunlight barely softens the harshness. Inmates line up, some in forced calm, others pacing. Their bodies move like predators in a cage. A fight breaks out near the basketball court. Words escalate into shouts, then fists. Guards rush forward, whistles shrill, boots pounding on concrete. Within seconds, the chaos is contained, but the tension lingers. Even as the yard empties, the memory of conflict remains, etched into the posture and gaze of every person walking back to their block. Groups form alliances. Some laugh, some glare, and some silently plot. Even a casual conversation can carry power, a hidden code that only those in the know understand. Rikers is a chessboard, and every move has consequences. Inside the jail, there's another world, hidden, unseen, yet thriving. Small items pass from hand to hand. Cigarettes, phone chargers, even cell phones. Money and favors flow like blood through the veins of the blocks. An inmate slips a folded note into another's hand. A guard glances away. No one speaks. No one notices, or no one admits to noticing. In this ecosystem, ingenuity is survival. A clever inmate can gain influence, a sense of control in a place designed to strip it away. But every trade carries risk. A single mistake can set off a chain reaction. Rumors spread like wildfire. Betrayal is swift. And in Rikers, reputation is everything. Not everyone here thrives in the shadow games or the power struggles. Many struggle with fear, regret, and the longing for life outside the walls. Mothers, fathers, sons, and daughters are far away. Letters pile up unopened. Calls are limited. Time stretches endlessly. A young inmate sits on the edge of his bunk, staring at the wall. His eyes are vacant, but his mind races, thoughts of freedom, mistakes, and the life he left behind. Across the block, another inmate quietly hums a song, the sound small but persistent, a defiance of despair. Here, survival is not just physical, it's emotional. Every day tests patience, resilience, and sanity. And for some, the only victories are small, a kind word, a moment of laughter, or the knowledge that another day has been endured. The jail takes on a different character at night. The fluorescent lights flicker in the hallways. Shadows stretch long across the cracked concrete floors. The air is thick with the smell of sweat, cleaning chemicals, and fear. Cell doors clang shut for the final lockdown. Silence falls, but it's deceptive. In the darkness, tension simmers. Whispered threats pass through the bars. Small movements go unnoticed. Plotting begins. Alliances are tested. A sudden argument erupts in Block D. A chair tips, shouts pierce the silence, and a guard rushes down the hall. By the time order is restored, the damage is done. Bruises, broken pride, and the unspoken message that no one is ever truly safe, not even inside a locked cell. In a dimly lit cell, two inmates exchange a tense conversation. One reaches for a hidden item, a small knife. The other knows it's coming but pretends ignorance. Outside, guards perform their routine check, unaware of the brewing danger inside. Seconds feel like hours. Then, a sudden movement. The knife flashes, a struggle ensues. One inmate falls back, blood on the concrete floor. Silence returns, but it's heavy, oppressive, and filled with the knowledge that betrayal here is not just personal, it's survival. Other inmates watch in quiet calculation. Some feel fear, some satisfaction, some a cold indifference. Every action is scrutinized, remembered, and will shape the hierarchy for months to come. Isolation sells him with a quiet terror. Lights remain on 24/7. Time stretches endlessly. A lone inmate traces patterns on the walls, murmuring to himself, measuring the hours. Every sound in the block becomes amplified. The scrape of a metal tray, the cough of a neighbor, the distant clanging of doors. A guard walks past, but the inmate barely notices. His mind is elsewhere, calculating, strategizing, surviving the mental warfare that comes with living in a cage designed to erode the mind as much as the body. In the cell across the hall, another inmate screams at nothing, his voice bouncing off the concrete, filling the empty corridors with desperation. No one intervenes immediately. Everyone knows that inside Rikers, sometimes the only thing left is endurance. In the middle of chaos, alliances form in unexpected ways. Two inmates, longtime rivals, find themselves cornered by a more dominant force. A silent nod, a brief understanding. Suddenly, the lines of conflict shift. They move together through the block, alert, calculating. Every interaction becomes a strategic maneuver. Even a fleeting glance could betray them. In Rikers, survival is not just about strength, it's about timing, observation, and adaptability. This alliance doesn't erase their history, but it gives them a chance to survive another day, reminding everyone that the social landscape inside the jail is fluid, and yesterday's enemy could become today's shield. In the quiet before dawn, some inmates sit alone on their bunks, staring at walls, at ceilings, at nothing at all. Some whisper apologies to loved ones, some mutter regrets, some just breathe, trying to hold onto their sanity. The jail is unforgiving, but it also mirrors the human condition, struggle, resilience, and the fragile hope that tomorrow might be different. In this place of chaos, the small victories matter. A letter received, a meal shared, a conversation that doesn't end in conflict. And for some, even a small act of kindness, given or received, becomes a lifeline, a reason to endure, a reminder that humanity survives even in the darkest places. The tension that's been simmering all day finally erupts. A fight in one corner spreads like wildfire. Chairs smash, metal doors clang violently, and shouts fill every hallway. Guards rush to intervene, but there are too many triggers, too many sparks. Smoke from a small fire fills a section of the block. Inmates push, shove, and scramble to gain control. Alliances shift in real time. Friends become foes, enemies momentarily unite. The sound is deafening. Footsteps, screaming, metal against metal. In one cell, a young inmate hides under his bunk, heart racing, praying the chaos passes him by. Across the hall, seasoned inmates exploit the distraction, moving contraband, securing power, and leaving marks that will determine the next hierarchy. Rikers Island shows its rawest face, the fine line between order and total chaos. And tonight, that line is gone. Amid the riot, a betrayal cuts deeper than the chaos itself. One inmate, trusted by many, uses the riot to settle personal scores. A knife flashes, and screams pierce the chaos. Guards intervene, separating combatants, but the damage is done. Broken bodies, fractured trust, and a reminder that survival here comes at a constant, steep price. Nearby, allies watch silently, knowing they were powerless to stop it. Others take mental notes, recognizing that every alliance is fragile. In Rikers, no victory is absolute, no safety permanent. Later, after the chaos subsides, a quiet discovery rocks the jail. In a neglected corner of the block, an inmate uncovers something hidden for years, a stash of documents, notes, and evidence hinting at corruption, abuse, and failures by those meant to run the jail. It's a secret that could bring accountability, perhaps even closure for some, but also danger. Guards and administrators remain unaware, for now, but whispers begin to spread. In a place like Rikers, knowledge is as deadly as any weapon. The discovery changes the stakes. It's no longer just survival. Now it's a choice: expose the truth, risking everything, or remain silent and endure another day behind walls that have never been tamed. As the sun rises over the East River, Rikers Island wakes to another day. The riot is over, but scars remain, visible and invisible. Inmates nurse injuries, alliances realign, and the constant rhythm of lockdowns, counts, and surveillance resumes. A young inmate sits quietly on his bunk, staring at a small photograph, proof of a life beyond these walls. Tears mix with sweat and grime, a fleeting human moment in a place designed to strip humanity away. For a moment, you see what keeps them going: hope, even in the smallest form. Behind the notoriety, the violence, and the headlines, Rikers Island is made of people, flawed, resilient, desperate, and enduring.